Hello, hello, hello. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Arigato. Thank you for joining our live stream. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of December, 2025, Anno Domini, and welcome to Holy Land Tours, where we're going to take you virtually to to our Holy Land, the original Holy Land. Folks, today I'd like to address our Japanese friends in the country of Japan and around the world. The reason for that is because the Armenians and the Japanese share a lot of common traits. You see, I studied at college with a lot of my Japanese friends, like Hiro and Daisuke and Ako, and I've noticed that there were a lot of similarities in the way they were raised and the basically showing respect for the elderly and just for each other. So, what's most obvious is that the two cultures are incredibly ancient. When you come to Armenia, or if you'd just like to know how old is Armenia, well, I was going to say we're going to take you to a 12,000-year-old settlement site outside of Yerevan. The capital city of Armenia is Yerevan. And they discovered a 12,000-year-old settlement that predates the Great Flood, predates Noah, predates any known history. And so is Japanese culture, is extremely, incredibly ancient. So Japan has holy Mount Fuji. We have in Armenia Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark landed approximately 8,000 years ago. Nobody knows for sure, but approximately, nobody can agree on this, but from what we know, holy Noah landed on Mount Ararat in his gigantic boat called the Ark approximately 8,000 years ago. He wasn't alone, by the way. He brought along his family and all of the animals to be repopulating after the ark landed. So Noah pitched his tent near the holy river Arax by what today is called the Arax village. Again, we get this information from traditions. Nobody knows for sure, but logic tells us if you come down Mount Ararat, you need to find a source of water. Without water, you cannot survive. And the closest source of water would be the Araxes River, or the river Arax. Araxes it's Greek and Persian and Sumerian pronunciation. And we're going to teach you a few words when you come to Armenia, a few words in Armenian, of course, in Greek, in Persian, in Sumerian, in Akkadian, in Latin, and other languages. So you'll know a few words. So, folks, the reason why I decided to extend this warm welcome invitation to all of the Japanese people to come to visit Armenia is because I've studied at college with a lot of Japanese students, and I noticed similarities. So I decided to extend my greeting, my invitation, my sort of a warm inclination to show them around. When you come to Armenia, you'll be greeted at the airport. We're going to pick you up, and you will get to see all of the sites of Armenia, ancient sites from the first Christian church located at Echmiadzin. Echmiadzin is translated into English as the descent of the only begotten Son of God, or the only begotten. Like in Greek, it's monogenes. So we'll take you to the world's oldest observatory. It's called Karahunj, and it's approximately 7,500 years old. And so now, when it comes to the alphabet, this is an interesting story, folks. When it comes to the alphabet, the modern Armenian alphabet was introduced by a famous Armenian linguist, philosopher, and polymath. His name was Mesrop Mashtots. Mesrop Mashtots created the modern Armenian alphabet in 405 Anno Domini, which is approximately 1600 years old, 1600 years ago. However, prior to this alphabet, the Armenians used other alphabets, or to be more precise, writing systems. For example, because of its proximity, Armenia, obviously, just located just slightly north of the city of Akkad, so the Armenians used the Akkadian language in the writing system, which is a cuneiform writing system. and then before that, the Sumerian writing system, which is also cuneiform. And sort of right before the introduction of the modern Armenian alphabet in 405 Anno Domini, the Armenians used a Urartian cuneiform writing system from the kingdom of Urartu. And there's a lot of debate of the kingdom of Urartu is named Urartu because of the city of Ur in Mesopotamia. Nobody knows for sure, folks, but I'm sure there are a lot of similarities. Ur is one of the most ancient cities on the face of the earth. If you just look up Ur, just two letters, Ur, that's where supposedly the Armenian kingdom of Urartu got its name from, but it's not certain. Nobody knows for sure. It's just a hypothesis, it's just a conjecture. So, but anyway, the Armenians have used this cuneiform system from in the kingdom of Urartu that resembles the Akkadian language, that resembles the Sumerian writing system, and they all look roughly about the same. But they're separated by thousands of years between them. The city of Akkad, the Akkadian language, sort of conglomerized everything, generalized everything. It made the Sumerian language into a much more advanced sort of a writing system. They perfected it basically. That's why the Akkadian writing system, the Akkadian language, is known as the world's most ancient writing system and language on the face of the earth, which is not quite technically, it's not quite correct because the Sumerians predate the Akkadian language. But the Akkadian became the standard, it was standardized, whereas the Sumerian was if you will, the early steps into writing down your thoughts. But they all roughly look about the same. It's a cuneiform system, and you could see it at the Erebuni fortress in Yerevan. Yerevan is the capital city of Armenia. Erebuni is the Urartian kingdom fortress at the hill of Yerevan that basically essentially gave birth to the name of the city of Yerevan. Yerevan, Erebuni, you could kind of hear similarities. So anyway, for our Japanese friends, when you come, you will notice right away the ancient Armenian culture. Hospitality is number one in Armenia. So when we see a guest, we would normally roll everything, put everything on the table. Basically, we call it create a feast for a guest. We'll put all of our food, all of our drinks, everything that we have on the table for the special visitor, for the special guest. And the Armenian men are raised in the samurai system, somewhat like a samurai system. Very, very austere upbringing. Men are supposed to be the protectors of the household, protectors of the future wives, children, stuff like that. So the Japanese samurai philosophy, if you will, is very much could be understood very well by Armenians because it's naturally it almost resembles the same kind of in both cultures. The samurai, the Armenian men are raised almost the same, identically. And I'm just generalizing. Of course, separated by great distances, but the point is there are similarities. So the Japanese samurai are raised, the Armenian men are raised like Japanese samurai in a way. Again, I'm just take it loosely, don't take my words literally. I'm just sort of generalizing the similarities between cultures and the respect for the elderly. That's another stark similarity between the Armenian culture and the Japanese culture. When the Japanese younger people slightly bow down, not all the way to the ground, but when they address the elderly in Japan, or not even in Japan, anywhere, they slightly bow their heads to show respect. Well, in Armenia, it's done verbally and with the body language. The body posture is such, the Armenians don't bow their heads, but the Armenians show respect by basically talking less and listening more to an adult or a person of authority or an elderly person. And so very similar to how the Japanese show respect to the elderly as well. So what else is we're going to show you, folks? You're going to see we're building our eco village, a Christian style eco village that we call Noah's Ark Eco Village in Armenia, that will be based on the Findhorn Eco Village in Scotland. That was built in 1962 Anno Domini by Eileen and Peter Caddy. They were a British couple, English couple, that were driving all the way north into Scotland in their caravan. A caravan is like a camper, a motorhome, a tiny little motorhome. So anyway, they were driving in their little caravan or motorhome or camper all the way as far as they could get to the sea. So they were in northern parts of Scotland, and they stopped at Findhorn Bay. So you couldn't drive any further. They stopped and they pitched their tent. They started their community there at Findhorn Bay. Much like Noah pitched his tent at the village of Arax near the Arax River, right outside of the in the Ararat Valley, right as soon as he descended Mount Ararat, right after the Great Flood, with his family, of course. So you're going to see the Spear of Destiny. This is Saint Longinus' spear. Longinus he became a saint, but he was a centurion in the Roman army. And as it is recorded in the Bible, in the New Testament, he pierced the side of Jesus the Christ to make sure that he was dead. You see, the crucifixion was handled by the Romans, and the Roman soldiers were given strict orders that they wouldn't take down the bodies of people that were still alive, because the whole punishment of the crucifixion was to make sure they were dead. And when you pierced a side of a person that was hanging on the cross for several hours, to make sure that the person was dead, basically, if water was gushing out or blood, that means that the person was still alive. And if nothing would come out, that means the person was long gone. He was dead, or she was dead. It was mainly used with men, of course. But so when Longinus pierced the side of Jesus, blood came out. And you see, Longinus was blind on one eye. He could not see from one eye, from his left eye, I believe, according to tradition. But when the blood of Jesus washed his face, got into his eye, he began to see. That was a miracle. And it's recorded in the Bible. St. Longinus said, clearly, surely this man was the Son of God. That was his testament to confirm that he believed that Jesus was the Son of God. Well, I mean, especially after he was healed, especially after he saw there was a tremendous earthquake and the day turned into night at Golgotha, and where Jesus was crucified. And so you will see the spear of destiny, or the tip of the spear of the Saint Longinus that he used on to check if Jesus was alive or not at Golgotha 2,000 years ago. So that is stored at Echmedzin Cathedral. Echmedzin Cathedral is a 1,700-year-old cathedral where I was baptized as a child. That's right. It's a 1,700-year-old church where it was declared, where Armenia essentially confirmed that it adopted Christianity as its state religion. That's right. In 301 Anno Domini, Armenia became the first nation to adopt Christianity in the world. And so the place where it took place, was at Echmedzin Cathedral. And once again, Echmedzin is an Armenian word which means, in English, the descent of the only begotten, meaning the Son of God, of course, monogenes in Greek. So Karahunj, we're going to show you, that's the observatory, where you're going to see plenty of Mount Ararat. Now, here's an interesting thing, folks. We're going to take you to Mount Ararat if you'd like to see Noah's Ark, but you're going to be risking your life. It's up to you. You have to be in good shape. Mount Ararat is 5,137 meters tall. The weather changes constantly. On the surface, it might look like a sunny day, but on a dime, which means instantly it could change into a negative minus 40°C Fahrenheit weather, with gusting wind, gusting at 100 miles an hour, and then it turns into this sort of a foggy, snowy blizzard and quite often you might get 200 lightning bolts hitting the mountain every 30 seconds. In other words, constantly nonstop barrage of lightnings hitting the mountain. So it's really not only just it's scary, it's very, very dangerous. Plus, it's high elevation. Many people might need an oxygen tank. Who knows, depending on how good of a shape you're in. But anyway, you have to be in tip-top shape. You have to be willing to risk your life to go up the mountain to see Noah's Ark. But if you're not too crazy about going up the mountain, you could see it even from a distance. It's a beautiful sight. Mount Ararat looks just as beautiful as Mount Fuji in Japan. So what else we're going to show you, folks? We're going to show you the world's oldest 12,000-year-old settlement right outside of Yerevan that was discovered by Dr. Jakob Simonyan. He is the chief archaeologist that was called to the site, and he gave he assessed it to be 12,000 years old with skin scrapers, with obsidian spear tips, with all kinds of other utensils, knives, all made from obsidian. Now, obsidian is a very sharp material, but it's made out of lava material. They haven't learned how to work with metals yet at that time, at that point in time in history, 12,000 years ago. Metals have not been introduced or used by humans. Maybe aliens, extraterrestrials, they use all kinds of technology, which brings up the subject of UFOs and teleportation. Now, there were 5 incidents in the Bible where it's recorded, like in the book of Acts 8:39, when Philip was teleported into Azotus. So teleportation is widely documented in Armenia because there are numerous portals that connect, the world that we cannot see with the physical, with the earth, basically. And this is what's called Jacob's ladder. If you remember, Jacob saw a ladder in his vision, and it's a very notable point in the Bible, Jacob's ladder. If you look that up, if you're not familiar with it, well, we have lots of such sites in Armenia. Jacob's ladder are almost everywhere. At Dilijan, at Kanaker, at various places. We're going to take you so you could see the angels of God ascending and descending in real life. It's very similar to the Skinwalker Ranch in the state of Utah in the United States. Bob Bigelow, he's an aerospace engineer. He invested over $100 million worth of special equipment into that ranch in Utah. It's called Skinwalker Ranch, where he studied the anomalous occurrences, where with special sensitive equipment, it goes beyond infrared, folks. It's much more sensitive and much more specific equipment, where they're able to detect and record in 4K resolution video when those gates open, when the stargates open, and those beings descend and ascend into the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. And he has you can watch it on YouTube right now. He has this a team of scientists permanently residing on the ranch that he purchased. So anyway, Skinwalker Ranch is a scientifically proven site for the Jacob's ladder, or how the portals open and close for those beings, extraterrestrial beings or angels of God, or maybe demons, to enter and exit planet Earth. And you can see that on YouTube. Again, it's all, just type in Skinwalker Ranch, Bob Bigelow's investment, and that's his ranch, and those are his scientists that he pays every month. So anyway, in Armenia, we have plenty of similar sites that are very similar to the Skinwalker Ranch of Utah. And we will take you, if you're interested in them, we'll take you for you to experience UFOs and those portals that will open and close as you will be taking pictures. So especially if you have infrared cameras, they'll capture that. But regular cameras may not be able to capture the portals at Dilijan and other sites. So anyway, folks, this, by the way, we'll also take you to the world's tallest statue of Jesus Christ on Mount Hatis. Right now, it's being being built. In a few months, it will be finished. But the world's tallest the world's tallest statue of Jesus Christ is being built on Mount Hati. So we're going to take you there, of course, and we will show you the world's oldest cathedral at Echmiadzin that is 1,700 years old. That's where I was baptized. We're going to take you to the world's tallest statue of Jesus Christ. We're going to take you to to see where Noah got settled after he descended Mount Ararat. Of course, you're going to see Mount Ararat everywhere, almost from many parts where we'll be visiting. But we're going to take you to the village of Araks and the area where, according to tradition, Noah pitched his tent and got settled with his family. So, folks, how much does it cost? Well, it's um, I saved the best for last. So, if you'd like to splurge, if you'd like to comfort and style, and money's no object for you, we could put you in a villa. So there are plenty of luxury villas where you could basically stay for a week. The duration of the stay is 10 days. So if you don't mind spending 10 or 20 grand, we'll put you in a villa. If you're in a budget, we'll put you into much more modest accommodations. We're gonna keep you on your budget. So if you only have a few $1,000s to spend, we'll put you in a nice hotel where you only spend a few grand. Now, again, if you'd like to splurge and money's no object for you, we'll put you at a luxury villa, whatever you prefer. And so it's 10 days usually. If you'd like to stay more, we can adjust your itinerary and you'll be able to stay as long as you wish in Armenia. So that's the price range. Now, as far as how you could get hold of us, it's very simple. You could reach us electronically by going to our website, www.holybible.tours, or you could call us or text us. Our phone number is +1 646 504 9323. That's right. You could text us anytime 24/7, 1 646 504 9323. Yes, you could call us, you could text us, any way you prefer. Or you could go to a website, holybible.tours, plural. There's an S at the end, tours. Holybible.tours. It's not .com, folks, it's .tours. Or just simply call us, text us at 1 646 504 9323. We schedule, we'll create your custom itinerary, and we'll basically greet you, pick you up at the airport, of course, and you'll have a beautiful, wonderful time. You'll join our Armenian Christian family, and we'll take you all around Armenia. You'll probably want to stay in Armenia once you experience our hospitality, which we could help you with. If you'd like to purchase a condominium, a house, or a summer home, there are such options. Many people, the reason I mention this, many people fall in love with Armenia, with Armenian people, and they decide to invest, at least into a pied-à-terre or something like a condominium or an apartment or a house or a country home. Let's say a beautiful country home where you will be able to see Mount Ararat all the time when you wake up and you drink your water, drink your coffee, drink your tea. So that's just to paint a picture. This is what happens to many people. They just fall in love with the people of Armenia, with the country itself, with its landscape. The climate in Armenia is quite warm. So during the summertime, it gets up to 30 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Celsius. So about 86 degrees Fahrenheit, if you use Fahrenheit, or 90 degrees, even 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's quite dry. So there is no humidity in the air. So there's no moisture in the air. The air is quite dry and arid. So bring your favorite lotion with you. Other than that, people are very hospitable. The weather is very nice, very sunny, and you're going to love it. You're going to fall in love with our country of Armenia. We're going to teach you a few Armenian words. We're going to teach you a few Greek words. The reason why I keep bringing up Greek and other languages is because there are over 10 million Armenians spread around the world into sort of like this gigantic global diaspora. And fewer Armenians live in the country of Armenia than in the diaspora. And we're going to tell you the reasons why when you get here. But the point is, there are many Armenians who speak English, like I do. There are many Armenians who speak French. There are many Armenians who speak Arabic and Greek and Spanish. There are many, many Spanish-speaking Armenians, and so on and so forth. So there are quite a few Armenians around the world, perhaps even quite a few of them in Japan. So I guess on this note, I'd like to extend my warm invitation to come and visit our wonderful one and only country of Armenia. You could reach us online by sending us a message on our website, holybible.tours, or simply pick up the phone and call us at 1-646-504-9323, or send us a text. We'll answer right away, and our team will get in touch. We'll schedule, make a custom itinerary for you, and we'll see you in Armenia, folks. Arigato. Thank you for being on this live stream. Take care. God bless you, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Arigato.